Good evening, everybody. Okay, gotta be careful. Marmalade is being marmalade. I see you there, buddy. Calm down, please. Just take a nap. I love you. Mama loves you. Just be calm, okay, buddy? Yeah, I'm petting you. I'm petting you. You're fine. Well, I don't know if I would say he's okay, but yeah. And oh, stop yawning. Anyways. Yes, gotta get with it with the trivia. We are doing H today. Let me just make sure the bonk key is working. Yeah. Yeah, for when I get the wrong answers, I will bonk myself. And let's get to it. You're fine, Misfit. I love
The
you.
April 15th tax deadline is coming, and your max
I don't wanna
refund
hear
is a
about
few
this.
steps away with TurboTax.
Hello again and welcome back to another quiz. This time it's 50 questions and every answer begins with the letter H. But don't think that will make it easy because I reckon this is the most difficult quiz the channel has seen yet. This is our typical scoring system, but if you get more than half of these correct, you should be happy with yourself.
H yet. If I
Enough talking, let's
did,
jump into
still
it.
be honest about what I
What
got
traditional
wrong.
Scottish dish is made from sheep's offal and
Haggis.
oatmeal?
Oh, yeah. Oh, thanks. I don't want to know. I don't want to know about haggis. No.
Haggis.
Uh,
Which group of elements includes fluorine and chlorine?
Peptides? I have no idea.
Halogen.
Oh, okay, so that's one. Oh, bonk. There we go. Bonk
What
myself.
word describes a peaceful and idyllic period of time?
Halcon. Halcon. Hallycon.
Halcyon.
Yeah, that thing. Okay, I spelled it wrong, but oh,
What
I
term
forgot
refers
that.
to a perception in the absence of external stimulus?
Okay, well, is that term refers to a perception in the absence. Okay, I got no idea for this one either. Another bonk. First two.
Hallucination.
Oh, okay.
Which
I got
ancient Chinese ruling family
Well, I think that was like a misleading thing. So I think that question was kind of that was bad writing for that question. I did bonk myself, right? Just in case. Okay, let's go.
began in 206 BC?
Hang? I don't know.
The Han Dynasty.
Okay, so there's another bonk.
Which Carthaginian general crossed the Alps with elephants?
Hannibal. It was Hannibal. Okay, back on the board, people. Back on the board.
Hannibal Barca.
The last name is Burke.
Which German city hosted Expo 2000 and begins with H?
Hamburg. I don't know. Well, no, I don't know if it's Hamburg. I'm gonna say Hamburg.
Hanover.
I did not know Hanover's. Okay, there's the bonk. There's the bonk. Let's just move on.
In Ottoman households, what term described the women's quarters?
Harem?
Harem.
Yay!
Which Roman emperor built a wall across northern Britain to mark the empire's frontier?
Hadrian? It's all I know is Hadrian.
Emperor Hadrian.
Yay!
What weapon is used for hunting whales?
Harpoon.
A harpoon. What Jewish religious movement emphasizes mysticism and strict observance? Hasidism.
Bonk. Yeah, I bucked myself, so we're at 5
Which
wrong.
female pharaoh commissioned a famous temple at Deir el-Bahri?
Hemotep? Was Hemotep?
Hatshepsut.
Okay, that was their name, whatever. So, okay, there's another one wrong. 6 wrong
Which
now.
physicist authored A Brief History of Time?
Okay, my brain. I'm not looking at the screen right now. I'm just... I can't think of a physicist beginning with H now, so let me bonk myself now. And what the 7 wrong?
Hawking.
Oh, mice.
Which
Okay, I don't know why. I just think of him more as an author than a physicist. I don't know why. That's stupid.
scientist is known for the uncertainty principle?
Okay, that's another bonk. And what could... Yeah, I think 9 wrong now.
Heisenberg.
Heisenberg, okay.
What term describes political dominance of one state over others?
Oh. Well, it's not Habsburg. No, I know this is kind of cheating. I'm like it. Hierarchy? I have no idea.
Hegemony.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's my
In
bonk.
Greek mythology, which titan personified the sun before Apollo became associated with it?
Helios? Was Helios a Titan?
It was Helios.
Finally, we're at 10 wrong.
What traditional Maori war dance is performed before rugby matches in New Zealand?
Hurry, I don't know. I'm just gonna say hurry.
The haka.
Okay, yeah, so there's another bonk. Oh, what? You
Paris.
stupid...
Exclusive
Yeah,
events at incredible
and
restaurants.
that food looks disgusting.
Plus nights on the Seine. Heaven.
And yes, I admit
Experience
that.
once-in-a-lifetime trips to the most exciting places with Chase Sapphire Reserve.
Switch to Walmart Pharmacy and get same-day prescriptions and groceries delivered.
What protein in red blood cells carries oxygen?
Hemoglobin. Or is it hemoglobin? I'm gonna say hemoglobin. Either way, it's fine.
Hemoglobin.
There you go, see?
What word refers to half of a sphere, often used to describe the Earth?
Hemisphere?
Hemisphere.
There we go.
What term refers to beliefs that contradict official religious doctrine?
Heresy, or well, they weren't... Okay, I'm not sure if they're heretical or just heresy. I'm not sure. Heresy, how you pronounce it. Which form of the word they want.
Heresy.
Yeah, there, see both. Heresy or heretical.
What famous museum in St. Petersburg was once a royal palace?
No idea. There's my bonk.
The Hermitage Museum.
I want to be a hermit.
Which ancient Greek historian is often called the father of history?
Well, I didn't know there was a... No, I don't remember it being... Oh, wait. I was thinking it was wrong because I was thinking of something else, but I think it's Herodotus. Is it Herodotus?
Herodotus.
Yeah, okay, see, there we go.
What unit measures frequency in cycles per second?
Oh, what is my brain doing to me?
Abbreviated as HZ Hertz.
Yes, okay, there's
What
my
ancient
bonk.
name was used for the planet Venus as the evening star?
Hermaphrodite? I don't know.
Hesperus.
Okay, there's another bonk.
What writing system was used in ancient Egypt?
Hieroglyphics. Oh, man.
Hieroglyphs. What mountain range includes Mount Everest?
Himalayas.
The Himalayas. Which Japanese city was devastated by the first atomic bomb in 1945?
Hiroshima.
The city of Hiroshima. What branch of biology studies tissues?
Oh,
Histology.
okay, that's not what I was thinking of, but there's my bonk.
Which ancient Anatolian people fought against Egypt at the Battle of Kadesh?
Hittites? Yeah, Hittites is like in
The Hittites.
Oh, whoa, okay, there we go.
What model places the sun at the center of the solar system?
Heliocentric. Is that what they mean?
Heliocentrism.
Okay.
What term refers to the genocide of 6 million Jews during World War II?
The Holocaust. Yeah, for sure.
Holocaust.
World War II stuff going on.
What term describes an early ancestor of modern humans?
Hominid? Giving Homo sapiens to mean hominid.
A hominid.
Okay, they did mean hominid. Okay, good.
What term refers to the killing of one person by another?
Homicide. Well, I mean, there's Homo erectus, Homo habilis. Yeah, we're Homo sapiens now, but there's also Homo habilis
Homicide.
and Homo erectus. For the last question.
What massive dam is located on the Colorado River
Hoover.
between
It
Nevada
is
and
the Hoover
Arizona?
Dam. I read fast. That's one thing I can at least do.
The Hoover Dam. Which Asian financial hub was returned from Britain to China in 1997?
Hong Kong?
Translates to Fragrant Harbor, Hong Kong.
Fragrant Harbor?
Which Egyptian sky god, son of Osiris and Isis, was depicted with a falcon's head?
Horus. That's like my
Horus.
Yeah.
Which space telescope was launched in 1990 and transformed astronomy?
Hubble. Yeah, my knowledge of Egyptian gods'
The Hubble
names
Space
is very
Telescope.
little.
Which German naturalist has an ocean current named after him?
I probably shouldn't understand myself right now. No idea.
Humboldt.
Well, I know Humboldt State
What
University.
long conflict between England and France lasted from 1337 to 1453?
100 Years' War, I'm going to say.
100 Years' War. Which neurodegenerative disease causes uncontrolled movements and cognitive decline?
Oh, no, it's not Parkinson's. It's
Huntington's disease.
Yeah, there's my bonk.
Okay, just 10 questions remain, so it's time for today's bonus question.
I'm not really
Leave
sure
your
now. I
answer
think
in the
I'm at-
comments below if you can
I'm
get
gonna say
it.
I'm at 15
Which
wrong.
Middle Eastern dip made primarily from chickpeas, tahini, lemon juice, and garlic?
Oh my gosh, Miss. Oh. For those of you who watch Smosh Reddit stories, you know the hummus story. Okay, I can breathe now.
Is commonly served with pita bread.
I'm gonna
And
say
if you
I
like this
15
format of
wrong.
questions, you'll find the link to our book on Amazon with plenty more of these questions in the description below. What powerful tropical storm forms in the Atlantic or Northeast Pacific Ocean?
Hurricanes. So rough.
A hurricane.
Ah,
What flowering shrub is known for large clustered blooms that change color with soil pH?
hydrangea. Those are hydrangeas. I love
Hydrangea. What keyboard instrument popular in the Baroque era preceded the modern piano?
Okay, I'm gonna bonk myself.
Harpsichord.
Oh, I've heard of that. I just
What chemical process breaks down compounds using water?
hydraulic. That's all I got.
Hydrolysis.
Okay, yeah. There's another bonk.
What figure of
Pretty wrong.
speech involves deliberate exaggeration?
Hyperbole.
It's called hyperbole. What medieval pole weapon combines an axe blade with a spear point?
Halberd.
Halberd.
I just want to say, in Ember Stream today, we did. Yeah, she did a quiz too. It was like, well, they said ranged weapons in movies and TV, and guess the show or movie, but it was pretty much all guns, all firearms. I don't know if you want Van Helsing's gun is not that, but yeah, more of a crossbow thing. But yeah, it was very annoying. I think they shot several, but it was regular gun too. Blah blah. counts, but I was expecting medieval weapons. Very disappointed.
What condition involves excessive worry about having a serious illness?
Hypochondriaism. Or, I'm sorry, hypochondria.
Hypochondria.
There we go.
What is a proposed explanation for a phenomenon made on the basis of limited evidence?
Hypothesis.
Hypothesis. What term describes an extreme, exaggerated emotional reaction?
Hysteria. Or do they want hysterical? Just like you nitpick over that.
Hysteria.
Okay, there we go. Either one, same thing.
Lastly, what period of Greek history followed the death of Alexander the Great?
Hellenism or Hellenistic? I don't know which one they're going to go for.
The Hellenistic period.
Okay.
And that's all 50 questions done. Nicely played. Take a look at your final score and tell me how you did in the comments below. See you next time,
myself.
quizzes.
That's what I did. Shush. I embarrassed me. I can breathe. And now we're going in. Oh, yes, I just got to say in my CatSCAN news I did. Yes, welcome to CatSCAN News, where I scan for news because I don't know anything myself. You just saw that in action. Yeah. Okay, so, yeah. And for true crime, for today's news, I want to see what this was about, because it's only 10 minutes.
The Space Jam Triple Treat Box starting at $21.99. That's 2 medium pizzas starring our new hand-tossed.
This influencer was arrested for faking her own kidnapping, allegedly because she wanted more followers. Are we serious now? The internet has this ability to always surprise me with how desperate some people are for some basic attention. This person essentially sat down and thought to herself, I need to be interesting enough for some attention. How am I going to do that? Well, I guess I could stage a kidnapping. Why? So meet Monique de Fraga, a 27-year-old content creator from Greater Recife area in Pernambuco, Brazil. I can already tell I'm probably going to butcher a whole lot of pronunciations of the Brazilian locations in this video, so show me some mercy, please. I will try my best. But she was running a lifestyle-focused Instagram account, and she was starting to build, a little bit of an audience, along with some local recognition as a creator. But by April 2025, police say that her audience had started to shrink. And according to investigators, that's the context behind everything that followed. Because on April 21st, 2025, my birthday apparently last year, Monique reported to the police that her and her husband, Lucas Vieira, had been violently kidnapped right outside their home. Her side of the story was detailed and disturbing, to put it lightly. So the two of them were inside their car near their house when 3 men, armed and masked, surrounded the vehicle and forced them out. The couple was then taken to a forested area where men held them for hours under the threat of torture, demanding a ransom before they would let them go. She said that Lucas was physically attacked during the ordeal, and the kidnappers initially demanded 100,000 reals, which is roughly 18 grand US. And they were only released after a small fraction of that amount was paid. Now, after everything that happened, Monique did not go quiet. She recorded and posted videos on her social media accounts, walking her followers through the whole experience, visibly shaking, describing the men's approach, what they said, and what the hours in captivity felt like. She also actively reached out to local news outlets, and several of them ran her story. The military police confirmed at the time a ransom had been paid and that the couple were released. An official report was formally filed, and the civil police of Pernambuco opened a criminal investigation. And from what I understand, the Brazilian police is kind of divided into 3 branches: the federal, civil, and the military. And the difference between the last two is that the military police are basically the ones who make the patrols and the arrest, while the civil police are the ones who investigate. And for a stretch of time, everything seemed like a genuine case. She was just a local influencer who had survived something terrible and was being open about it publicly. However, over the following months, as investigators from the GOE, a special operations unit for the civil police, dug deeper into the case, several things just didn't add up. There were contradictions in the testimonies, the dynamics of how the crime supposedly played out, and that raised some red flags. Then there was a specific relationship that investigators uncovered. One of the men who was alleged to have carried out the kidnapping had a prior relationship with Monique herself. Uh-oh. And according to the GOE, the two hadn't just crossed paths once. No, they were apparently in contact before and after the date of the alleged kidnapping. And that allowed the police officers to piece together this alleged deception. I mean, that's pretty brazen to think you're gonna get away with something like this as you're keeping in contact with the person who did all of this before and after. Like, come on. Police also pointed to the prompts used to sell the story, including a stolen car with a cloned VIN and the real firearms during the abduction. And the GEO deputy described these as deliberate choices meant to make the scheme look like a genuine crime, as she was going through a decline on social media. So now you have the investigators identifying at least 4 people who they believe played a role in carrying out the scheme alongside of Monique. And each of their situations ended up going in a very different direction, to put it lightly.
Yeah, I kind of feel if you know that there's going to be an investigation, do not communicate with those involved. It's not going to look good for you. Yeah, don't. Yeah, that's at least one advantage to pop culture things. Always assume you're being watched. Yeah. Mind your P's and Q's, young man. Or young woman in this case.
So the first one is Denner da Silva. Denner da Silva is Monique's former partner and the man described as the leader of the operation. By the time the arrest warrant came through, Denner was already sitting in jail on a separate homicide charge. Hold up, okay. So he was formally charged in the kidnapping case as well, while already behind bars. And the second man identified was Caio de Santana, who allegedly drove the car used to move the couple in this alleged abduction. Caio, he never made it to trial as his life was taken in another city in the greater Recife area exactly 1 week before the operation was carried out. So, yeah. Then you had a third guy in the car during the kidnapping, but police have not yet been able to identify him. And then apparently there was a fourth person on the investigators' radar who is someone who's suspected of receiving a share of the ransom money after everything played out, and who was essentially based in a completely different city in a state of Sao Paulo. And just to put this in perspective, where the kidnapping happened and where this guy was based, are like on the other sides of the country. Like that's a road trip and a half to get there. But according to the police, the kidnapper's initial ransom call was made to Monique's own mother. The men demanded money for her daughter's release, and the lady, with no reason to believe any of this wasn't real, made a bank transfer to the account they provided. And even though the initial demand was 100,000 reals, Monique's mom ended up paying just 6,000, which is $1,162.
Join Planet Fitness for 1 cent down, $15 a month. No commitment.
So
Deal
sorry,
ends Friday,
people,
April
so
10th.
sorry.
Sparkling Ice Flavor Lab, Stella speaking.
Help me choose a sparkling ice.
Oh, mini cans, perfect for school lunch if you have a
in today's currency. And that account was the link that they would trace later to the Sao Paulo state, which led to the fourth search warrant. Also, who in their right mind is using their real bank account for something like this? So essentially, did they do all of this for, a social media play for the daughter and to scam her mother? The real victims in all of this was Monique's mother and Lucas, her husband. If this is true, what an awful person, scamming her mother and her husband for some attention on the internet. Are you serious? But again, that is if this is all true, because Monique's defense takes a little bit of a different approach. So she's arguing the money was a loan, not extortion, intended only to secure the ransom, and that it was repaid afterwards. And that's now, I guess, a part of this legal dispute. I don't know about you guys, but a forced loan would still be theft. But I guess the worst part is this isn't even something that got lost in translation. This is translated as accurately as possible. Because yes, I hired a Brazilian researcher to help me with the story because all of this is in Portuguese, so shout out Gustavo. But On the morning of March 24th, 2026, nearly 11 months after the kidnapping was reported, the civil police of Pernambuco launched what they called Operation Curtain of Lights. Come to think about it, I should have probably asked Gustavo how to pronounce most of these names here. We'll get him next time, Gustavo. But 30 officers took part in this operation and executing 2 arrest warrants with 2 search and seizure warrants across multiple locations: the greater Recife area, the capital of neighboring state, Pernambuco, and Sao Paulo. Monique was arrested in her home early that morning, and then she was brought to the GOE headquarters, then taken to the Legal Medicine Institute for forensic examination. And the charges on the table for her are now extortion, procedural fraud, and false crime reporting. But Monique's attorney, in an interview, called the case a legal aberration and framed it as a media-driven stunt rather than a legitimate investigation. So I guess his position is straightforward. The kidnapping happened and the client had nothing to do with planning it. In his words, she had no need for engagement or likes. She also had no reason to keep the 6,000 reals. It was essentially a kidnapping carried out by amateurs, and she was not involved in organizing it. He also pushed for Monique to be transferred to house arrest, arguing that she has young children, but as of the time of the video, a decision on that request is still pending, and Monique herself hasn't really made any public statements since her arrest. So I mean, if all of this is true, what a waste. 30 police officers, cross-state coordination, nearly a year of investigative work, and all of this was triggered, I guess if the police was right, by someone who simply wanted more followers on social media? Really? I'm still trying to connect the dots on how someone comes to this conclusion of doing something this brazen for some attention online. Like, did she really think she was gonna get away with this? I guess so. But wow, maybe the plan wasn't to go viral with a kidnapping video. Maybe it was like a 2-step play. First, become the news story, then ride the coattail of that newcomer fame with all the videos saying, hey, look, this is what happened when I got kidnapped, which, you know, seems like what she did. Because I mean, like, if you're just thinking about it, you know, local lifestyle creator with barely 30,000 followers, she's not gonna like blow up from posting food pictures, but a local woman who survived a brutal kidnapping and is now openly talking about it, suddenly news outlets, they're interested. They're running the story, they're putting her face on the pages, and now all those readers, people watching TV, are like one tap away from her profile. And then obviously she followed it up with all this content, visibly shaken, walking her audience through every detail of what happened. So I mean, if the police are right here, was that the goal? But also, I can't really see that being very sustainable because people just move on. But as it stands, there seems to be 2 completely different versions of what happened in the greater Recife area on April 21st of last year. While police say the evidence points clearly towards a staged crime, the defense says the kidnapping was real and the woman was a victim. So that's a question they'll figure out in court, but I guess whoever named this Operation Curtain of Likes had already made their opinion pretty clear. But either way, feel free to subscribe if you're new here, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Also, happy Easter, guys. Hope you guys had a wonderful holiday with your friends and family.
Yes. I think it was Sherry Papini who. Oh, there's a video just watched an Ember stream. Anyway, I think it was Sherry Papini who faked her kidnapping in California a few years ago. Yeah, and you know, things, situations like that, faking your kidnapping means other people suffer. Okay, real people who have been actual abduction cases tend to be met with more skepticism because of crap like that. So that is always where what I feel about these. It's very stupid for so many reasons, and they're always not the ones who deal with the consequences. No, no, no. Anyways, also let's go see what's going on Twitter. Oh. Yeah, okay. Okay, that's that. Yeah, just stuff going on. Let's see what's trending. Oh, there's Liz Hartwood's Magic Castle. No, what is this? What is? trending now, but 0 posts? What the how can you trend if no one's talking about it? What in the Oh my goodness. That's not how it works. Okay, so what's going on in Operation Epic Theory? Well, okay, you can see this was Trump's post. I don't know if it was last night or this morning specifically, but then now he's saying there is a um 2-week ceasefire because Iran has a 10-point plan. And we gotta wait and see what's going on. Yeah, a lot of people are not happy because, yeah, there were a lot of people who did want Iran freed for the people there, but now it's not looking like that. Well, that might not happen, and that is not saying well with some people. And yeah, that's what's going on. Trouble. Let me just look up the actual. It's not showing that on there. Let me find the thing. Yes, here we go. What is it doing? Oh, this what I want to do. Past 24 hours. Here we go. Yes, now Trump. Cause you saw that post thing from Fox News reporting. Trump said, he'll wipe them all out, and now there's a 2 week ceasefire. We're gonna just have to wait and see how that goes. I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to end very poorly. That is my suspicion. And yes, we'll just have to wait and see what goes on. And here, let me just switch now back to full screen. Yeah, try and lighten the mood, yeah, but there's just that thing got reminded of stuff I really wanna not happy stuff today that just got brought up. You know how it is, you say something and then it brings up something else and that you weren't really planning to think of, but it was that voice actress complaining from the video what video game it was, Overwatch, I think. The Hero Hey video I mentioned, it was about Overwatch and, fuss over what the character looked like, and the actress voicing her decided to try and throw her weight around and act like she was more important than she was. And I just made the comment that the only time I feel a voice actor has been justified in getting upset is Burt Reynolds in All Dogs Go to Heaven, and that was a very tragic set of circumstances, and that's why he gets a pass, because it wasn't a clout type thing at all. It was just being human. And yeah, it's because I don't know any parents out there. I don't want you to ruin the movie for your kids, so I'm not going to go more into it because it wasn't the movie's fault. I just want to say that. And now to Pete's blessings. Still no job, but my eye is getting better. The blood is going away. And I am looking, and I also got my Wednesday avatar model ready to go full screen. I can actually use her again tomorrow for live streaming. So I'm gonna just leave it 11 to 2 though, because I want to go to the store before I stream and everything. And I think we're almost done with the current s- um storyline, so we'll see what goes on. And that's about it. I will also, yes, and also I want to yeah, when they're trying to not get put in the box. That's so funny. They're trying not to get, well, cages, they're glass cases, but yes. They're trying not to get put in a box, which in a way is funny. So on that note, I will leave you. I hope you guys have a blessed night, and I will see you in the morning. Sleep well. Boys are not waving. Boys always do that.